President Trump speaking earlier today with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the situation in Syria. The phone call comes a day after Putin met with Syrian President Assad about the ongoing war in that country. Senator John McCain responded to the call, tweeting, "This demonstrates yet again the president mistakenly believes the U.S. and Russia share interests, and it's further evidence we desperately need a strategy for Syria." Joining me now are Michael Meehan, President and CEO of Squared Communications, and Matt Schlapp, Chairman of the American Conservative Union. We're going to start with this and then get to some fun after that. Matt, this comes after Nikki Haley, the UN ambassador, called Russia's shameful after it vetoed a UN inquiry into Syria chemical attacks. And then just yesterday, even Iran was claiming victory, that it had destroyed ISIS. So everybody wants victory, and actually it seems like the only one that really came out on top is Assad.
Yeah, I mean, I have been open to this idea that it makes sense for the American government and for President Trump to try to have a working relationship with Vladimir Putin. But the idea that he's pulling together these kind of roguish world leaders, from Assad to the head of the Turkish government to Iran, it's just a rogues gallery. And, you know, I think what President Trump ought to tell Vladimir Putin is that it's good that we have really beaten back ISIS, but it's time for Assad to go.
And Michael, obviously we do need cooperation on an international level, especially when it comes to counterterrorism measures. We do share some concerns there, obviously. Anything that you thought of this morning after that call?
Well, I think Ambassador Haley at the UN had it right, is that the UN is the place to pull this together. I agree with Matt. You can't do this in piecemeal with rogue nations. You got to leverage the power of the UN, and I agree with the ambassador.
What was interesting was that the Wall Street Journal actually had a review this weekend that the country doing the best in the Middle East when it comes to holding on to democratic institutions is Iraq. But that for another day, because I asked you two to come with a little Thanksgiving special, and I love your answer, so I want to get to it. I asked you both to tell me what you think the Republicans and the Democrats should be most grateful for as we head into Thanksgiving. And Matt, let's start with you.
Yeah, of course, me, like all Republicans, we're thankful for the Electoral College. And the gift that keeps on giving is Hillary Clinton, who keeps on talking. Let's hope that keeps continuing. I love the fact that she's flirting with the idea of running for office again. I like that one. And, of course, the most important one, because it affects people's lives, is the idea that our economy is growing at a rapid clip of 3%. That's good for America, and also happens to be great for Donald Trump.
Okay, so next we'll go over to you, Michael, for what do you think Democrats should be grateful for?
Well, clearly the elections 2 weeks ago showed that people are mad. They're showing out in big numbers, electing first-time candidates from Seattle to Maine to Georgia, taking 2 governorships. It's a big election win, number one. 2 is Donald Trump. A president at 38% has been very useful to helping the Democrats pick up the pieces from last year's election. And then the third is Alabama. If I sat on this set a year ago, you would have laughed at me if I said the Democratic Senate candidate is within 10 points of picking up a seat that Jeff Sessions has vacated. You would have laughed me off the set.
I would have laughed you off the set. That would have been a strong laugh. All right, and then before I let you go, I can't let this go. Matt, what do you think Democrats should be grateful for?
All right, this is dangerous, but I agree with Michael. Alabama, it's given them all kinds of good things. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, which led to a Bob Mueller investigation, and now potentially picking up a Senate seat. And I got to go to the old standbys. The liberal media, which is being thinned out with all these scandals, and also liberal judges who just continue to overturn Trump decisions and make the politics for conservatives stronger and stronger.
And Michael, since we're being bipartisan here, Republicans should be grateful for what?
Well, unified government with a strong economy and the fact that we haven't started a new war. Clearly, number one. Number 2 is that there are 3 Republicans in the U.S. Senate that will stop dumb and unpopular ideas. Rolling back Obamacare, passing tax cuts, tax breaks for corporations is also on the table. And then the last one is that the president's only pardoned 2 turkeys so far. That's the most useful thing.
So 2 turkeys. I get it. I see what you did there. All right. Well, I wish you both a very happy Thanksgiving. The Daily Briefing appreciates you coming.